Meeting of the Ball Knob City Council to order.
Ben, would you say our prayer for us, please? Yes, sir.
Lord, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the opportunity to come together and conduct business on behalf of the town of Ball Knob. Lord, we ask now that you would grant wisdom to us as we sit and we judge in matters of business. Lord, lead us. And Lord, I also pray that you would give us an opportunity to build together to make Ball Knob strong once again. In your holy name, Jesus.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. As everybody knows, we have not had a pre-council meeting for the last 2 months because of the holidays. We will resume that in February. So, approval of the previous minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
Approval of the financial report.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? That's unanimous.
Down to the committee reports. Ambulance Committee, Mr. Hodges. I think they were going to be here, but did they make it? I didn't see anybody.
We'll skip it then.
Okay, they did want to speak, so they may just not be here yet.
Okay, we can do it now or we can do it later.
We've got that at the bottom of the old business.
Oh, this is different. This is one of the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
Let's wait till they get here and see what they say. They may want to add something to that.
Yeah, because she was planning on speaking tonight. She called me today about it.
Do you need to leave?
No.
Okay.
So we'll pass on that and go to the Fire Committee. Again, Mr. Hodges.
Dean just gave you.
6 runs is all we have. That's all we got.
Okay. 6 runs.
That sounds like a record to me.
That's good.
Yeah, that's real good. Thank you. We appreciate everything y'all do. Budget Committee, Mr. Hodges again.
General fund had $1,162,640 beginning bank balance, receipts of $152,352, disbursements of $141,505, ending bank balance of $1,173,486. Street fund, we had a beginning balance of $155,253, receipts of $19,287, disbursements of $34,101. They left us an ending bank balance of $140,439.
Fanny? There you are. Would you like to go ahead? We'll back up one time and let you speak for the ambulance.
I don't have anything unless you guys have something.
Okay, well, at this time, we were talking about the door that
Yes, sir.
we thought you might want to speak about that. If you don't, we'll let Danny speak about it.
When I just left over there, they said that they came in and looked at it and said they had to order a part, so it was going to be.
Donald called me today about the frame. But it needs frame replaced.
What was the,
It was garage door service.
yeah, but what was the dollar value?
One replace one frame and 2 motors.
Yeah.
$2,275.
202.75.
Is it 2275?
2275.
I'll make a motion that we pay those repair bills for repairs of the ambulance building doors.
That's it.
All those in favor? That's unanimous.
That kind of- and,
Yeah. We'll do that.
So it does come out of the ambulance account.
Yeah, it's still got some in it.
All right, sounds good. Anything else, Danny, you want to add to that or anything?
No, because we had a couple of runs, no stars in there, but just.
Okay.
appreciate what they're doing.
Absolutely, appreciate it. There's nothing else that you want to add? I was under the impression you want to speak tonight. No? Okay. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Yes, sir.
Planning Commission, Mr. Myers, you want to start off?
Yeah, we have a couple here from 300 West Center Street. They've been cleaning up their front yard. It's the fenced-in yard on Center Street. They're asking for another 30 days to finish.
You said they're here tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. You're asking for another 30 days?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, this is your first extension or your second? First? Okay. We appreciate y'all coming and asking for the extension because that's what we need is communication. But we definitely need, I want you to know that I have had a lot of calls come in on that property.
I've done a lot of work on the teams where it was rotted, and there's a couple of boards I need to replace.
What's that address again, Chuck? And the yard, that's what I get the complaints on. Okay. Well, I noticed that you're out there working a lot, but I'm just, passing along what my concerns are because I am getting phone calls on it. I don't want you to realize that. So,
And
Go ahead.
the stuff that we have on the concrete slab, some of it is stuff that were trying to store for a friend of mine. But her family is working on coming and getting it. Her brother and nephew had just went out on a pipeline. So her mom's trying to get their cousin to help with it.
where does that need to go to?
I don't know,
Right by the
if,
rain bands,
I don't know if they're gonna take it over there. or if
But in
they're
Ball
gonna
Knob,
take
though?
it to Gus Mom's.
Okay. Well, just see what you can do and try to get it cleaned up, by then too. Does the planning commission have something they would like to add to that?
This property was condemned in April of last year.
Okay. So where do we need to go?
We sent continuous warning letters. They did
Oh,
do,
yeah.
they did do the, they
One at
did
a time.
do a small amount of repair to the house.
Okay, will you, okay,
40 days.
okay. Well, this is your 30-day extension that we're going to grant that. I want you to realize that we do want to see some major action on it. And if not, we'll have to,
Well, the windows
Go
we
farther.
can't replace until tax time.
do your best and communicate. That's what we want from y'all, okay? Because we want to work with our residents. We want y'all to realize that. Thank y'all for being here and thanks for, communicating. And, you do have a written letter now asking for the extension. Have you done that yet? If you haven't done that, come down to talk to Mr. Myers and get a written extension request, okay? Thank y'all for coming.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. Chuck, what else have you got? Hey, Mary Lou, you got something tonight? Other?
Well, I need to relay what you just told me.
Okay,
Okay, we did send a final warning notice to Craig Christensen concerning the train car and the depot, and the hotel.
Mhm.
Chuck just relayed to me that he had received a letter from the Ball Knob Historic Preservation. They do intend to take care of this. Is that true?
it is, we're talking about the hotel now as the letter. Okay, the hotel is, he's applied, I've got the letter from it's not the Ball Knob Historic, it's the State Historical Society.
Preservation.
Yeah, and Ms. Rachel Patton has sent a letter asking us to give Craig time to see if they can get him on the national, it might be the state, because if you get the state, that's where you get the grants from in order to get it to the national. Yeah, it's a state. But I think that that's not gonna be a problem, you know, we wanna support that because it is part of our history. Now, the train car is another issue, and I think that he's working with another grant situation, and they are going to remove that train car somewhere and put it in storage and work on it somewhere else.
Well, he too needs to come up here and fill out a response.
Yeah, he's actually, I'm gonna print it out for him, he sent it to me, this evening. The thing of it is, that way we'll have it on file, and, he would be here if he wasn't sick and he had to put his wife in the hospital again today, so, I told him I would relay, you know, all that, and I would get, you know, get this printed and get it in the file for Chuck. Chuck, we need to do that first thing in the morning. Any other properties that need to be discussed though at this time? Okay, and I did tell y'all that I went down to the municipal league attorney today and didn't speak with them about the, what's the address on North Main? 504?
It's, door right. It's here.
Well, I'm getting transposed.
205 Main.
205, gotcha. Anyway, we're gonna work on that one way or another, we're gonna get that resolved just real quick.
Yeah, the 5 houses that we submitted before that we badly need inspection. And the stone house is one of them.
Yeah, it is, and there again, we've got 2 more weeks, three more weeks before the new code inspector starts, and we're already got those targeted. So we're just gonna have to bide our time, you know, till then. We appreciate everything that y'all done.
Mark, there's
Yeah.
a resolution that's not on the agenda.
Okay.
Nancy brought it to me. Do you want to amend the agenda now to include this, or?
What's that one about?
Yeah, I brought it to you and it's concerning your house, Mayor Grace.
Oh, yeah, we definitely need to, we're talking about
The house at
Out there.
205
Okay.
Old Russell
Yeah.
Road.
if, you have to get a motion to do that, right?
What's the resolution?
It's resolution number 2020-02.
It's on the agenda.
No, that's on one.
There's O2's on there too.
Okay, there's not one on the agenda I have. The agenda's been upgraded like 2 or
Okay,
3
I
times.
understand that. Mine has been upgraded then, because it's online. You know, that is, basically to show condemnation that I'm not treated any different than anybody else. So I want everybody to realize that I have no
He
problem.
did receive a warning and he did fill out a response form that he would have the house repaired or taken down by September 1st, which did not happen, which that leads to the resolution.
Yeah, and I was never gonna fix it, but we are gonna tear it down. We've already started tearing it down. And I want everybody to realize that I don't expect to be treated any different than anybody else. But we have started on the demolition.
You two need to come to Chuck's office and fill out a
I will do that, and I will do that, and not just verbal, but we'll put it in print. And like I said, we've already started, and Chuck, you help me remember to fill one of those forms out tomorrow. And I'm gonna try to get that done in 30 days, so I mean, you know.
She just wanted it on the agenda. No, she's not on the agenda.
Are you ready for me to read it?
Yeah.
The City Council of the City of Bald Knob, Arkansas, Resolution Number R-2020-02, resolution in accordance with ordinance number 201 declaring a nuisance, providing a lien on property and other purposes. Whereas on May 2nd, 1983, the City Council of the City of Bald Knob, White County, Arkansas passed ordinance number 201, which is an ordinance providing for the condemnation and removal of houses, buildings, and/or structures constituting a nuisance within the corporate limits, providing for penalty, therefore, and for the purposes. And whereas a motion has been made by the City Council of the City of Bald Knob, Arkansas, that the property described as parcel number 003-03333-029, Bald Knob outlots 120 Old Russell Road, be declared to constitute a nuisance as provided in said ordinance number 201. Whereas the City Council of the City of Bald Knob, pursuant to ordinance number 201, has the right to condemn any house, building, or structure which constitutes a nuisance. Now therefore be it hereby resolved as follows. The property as described above and belonging to Barth Grayson is hereby declared to be a nuisance in accordance with ordinance number 201 and the City Council of the City of Ball Knob, Arkansas. 2, a true or certified copy of this resolution shall be mailed to the owners of the above described property in accordance with said ordinance, and if the nuisance is not abated within 30 days, the city will take all action available to it in accordance with the remaining provisions of ordinance number 201. 3, at the same time as the true or certified copy of this resolution is mailed to the owners of the above described property, a copy of this resolution shall be posted at a conspicuous place on the house, building, and/or structure constituting the nuisance. If the whereabouts or address of said owners is not known, the posting of a copy of this resolution will suffice as notice as provided by ordinance number 201. 4, it has been determined that this resolution is necessary and is vital to the health, welfare, and safety of the public. Therefore, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval dated the 6th day of January 2020.
I move we accept resolution number R-2020-02 as read.
Second.
David, did you second that?
Bill.
Bill did. All those in favor?
Marilyn, do we currently have a ordinance on file about how to deal with commercial property? And there's some question about that.
No, and when we talked to Mr. Shoemaker at Cersei, he says it's treated exactly the same as residential there, only they're stricter about it. They're,
Do we need to amend our ordinance about, see what I'm saying? Because
this ordinance also pertains to commercial property.
Okay, but ours does not say that, though, right? Okay, and that's something that we need. I want everybody to realize that I'm going to ask Don Rainey to draw up another ordinance or amending that ordinance to add commercial property along with residential on there, so that there's no question that it gets treated the same, because we don't have any guidelines to go by with commercial. And I'm sure we're all asked about commercial property, because I get calls almost every day about it, because we've got so many in our historic downtown that need to be dealt with, and we're just not dealing with them.
Well, we asked Cersei's code enforcement, and that's what he told us. Cersei doesn't have an ordinance that just
For
restricts
commercial.
commercial.
That's something we don't need
It's the
just to
same
look at
as the
Cersei.
residential ordinance. It applies to everybody, commercial or residential. He said the only thing we do is we go a little stricter to the ordinance when it comes to commercial.
Well, Don's on the Cersei City Council
Yes.
too, so we can ask him about that. And we also need to call the municipal league and just ask them tomorrow if they know of any other city our size that has a ordinance that just addresses commercial. Because I just want to verify that, because I do want us to have one on file, because we have to, start looking at it.
So you're saying the 201 does not read like this?
It reads exactly like that. The only thing, it does not say on there commercial. It just talks about people's houses.
No, it says this does not.
Structures. Nuisance structures is what ours says, and to me, that means any structure.
Right. But that's not what our 201 reads?
Yeah.
So why do we need to change it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's 104 and 07.
It just maybe needs to add that this also pertains to commercial. But to me, the way it reads would pertain to any structure, because that's what it says.
What about
Nuisance,
industrial?
Any structure.
What about industrial?
Well, that's a structure.
So is a commercial.
About GI, you bet, or it'd be on the ground.
Does Cersei have it written in their ordinance that it also
No,
pertains?
I don't know. No.
Okay, let's make sure of that,
Well,
because
it
if they
also
say,
includes 04 and 07 grass and automobiles. I mean, that applies to everything in this town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it don't just apply to residential property, but structures, in my opinion, means any building.
well,
I
A
agree.
house, a building,
I agree.
anything. I agree.
Storage
Yeah.
place.
It's the structure.
I was just curious.
Well,
I
me too.
I didn't remember.
I don't know, like I said, maybe the ordinance should be amended to just say this also pertains to commercial property. I don't know. But to me, structure means a structure of any kind within the city limits of Baltimore. Wouldn't it to you, a structure?
I can see where it could be, but I want to call municipal league and ask them their opinion on it. If they say it's good, we're good to go, I'm fine with it, and I'm sure everybody else will be too.
You know, in my opinion, all the ordinances concerning cleanup, nuisance structure, apply to everything in the city. Whether it's a commercial building, a store, residence, whatever, I'd say it's the same.
I don't have any problem with that, you know that, it's just that I want to see it verified. I don't want there to
We
be
have a
any
lot of
question about
complaints
it.
about the old downtown building.
Every day. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. And is there anything else that y'all want to address? Well, you got it right here. No?
Let's do the other one while we're on the resolution.
We can do that, and I want you to realize on the, well, we'll go ahead and do that. Have you want to go ahead? We got it down here underneath business, but
The other one was too.
I know.
It doesn't matter. Let's go back up here and finish our committees.
That one pertained to, but I mean, the planning commission, that's what we did. That other one does not.
I've got a question about the planning commission. When we send out letters, warning letters, are we placing the owner's name and the specified property on those letters when we send out those
We did
letters?
the last final warnings, but it was our mistake because we assumed if you got a final warning, you done had 3 full resolutions to condemn, then you knew what the letter was about.
But
Sure.
we've also addressed that already.
But-
They are going to start sending that original
Yes.
letter out, so there will not be any confusion about
There
that.
won't
That's
be
a
any
good point right there.
It's
Because
been
there was
adjusted with the space.
confusion.
It's been adjusted now with a space for the
But
address.
what we sent, they only had one condemned property.
Yeah.
All of them.
One, those were sent to people with condemned properties that never responded in any way, never come and said, I'll do this, I'm gonna take care of it, these are my intentions. Never replied in any way. After 3 warning letters and then a condemnation. Never heard anything from those folks that got the final warning. Okay, speak up to me, Jason.
I come up here with the letter I got, so that's a lot.
You come up here with the letter.
Every letter that you know me, I come up here and talk to Chuck.
Well, I didn't say you did.
You just said that nobody replied.
Okay, on your final warning, it was on your property on South Hickory. That property is condemned. Did you do anything about the property?
I come up here and talk to y'all every time.
Did you bring it up to code, Chase? Did you?
Can you give me why it's condemned?
Huh?
Can you tell me why it's condemned?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, it wasn't fit to
can you
live.
put it in writing why it's condemned?
Well, you'll have to ask Chuck. He went down there and looked at it.
All right, let me get a point of order here. This conversation needs to come before the planning commission next Tuesday at our regular committee meeting. You know, there's no sense in going back and forth here, but we appreciate you coming tonight, though.
Can I say one more thing? Even though it's gonna be to him. You promised me when I set up the meeting with you, you would bring me a response letter, did you?
I didn't have one. You gave it to me at the meeting.
But you said you'd put them in that envelope I gave you and bring them up here.
Okay.
And I'll come to the next planning commission.
All right, that's good. That's the answer I want right there. You'll be at the next planning commission. Okay, thank you. Let's move on.
Next Tuesday night,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
All right. Just asking a question. It's all right. It needs to be asked. Now, since we're at the planning commission, might as well address it right now. We've got one of our members, Mr. Johnson, going off. Is that going to be a 5-year, or is it going to be a 1 year since he had 1 year? See, I don't need it because he drew
I
the
think he
straw
would
of
probably
1 year.
finish that term.
No, he drew the short straw of 1 year, that's what it was.
But I think the guy replacing him,
Wouldn't
would
go
fin-
back into the
finish that.
5-year.
Well, he's finished it. It was over at the end of December. January 1st.
So he would go back into the 5-year rotation.
Yeah,
I would think.
I would think, but I wanted to make sure that I clarified that.
Just because he served that, doesn't mean he can't stay longer.
Doesn't mean anything. You know, it's just when his time's up that I intend to appoint somebody else to take his place. That's what we're fixing to discuss here. Because it's at the planning commission.
He will stay on. Don't you, Gary?
Well, I had made another appointment, and here's what I want you to do. We've got it set for 5 people. And I asked to appoint David Lowry as another appointee. And David will be advantageous to us with technical stuff. And we're focusing on some people with the inspector and enforcer. David can do the technical stuff with planning and zoning. And I wanted 7 people on there before, but it said 5, so we had to cut 2 of them off. And either I'd like to amend it to make it 6, leave David on, I'll put David on there and leave Gary on there, or I was going to, since he drew the 1 year, I was going to bring David on there. So,
Personnel matters need to go to executive session.
well, I don't consider this personnel of, committee. Actually, this is not a committee, it's a commission, so, it's a governing body, right here. But we can take an executive session, we can discuss it, and then we can, come out. And since we may need to go into executive session on something else, we'll wait till we get down here a little bit farther. Does anybody have a
You're
problem
ready to go
with
through
that?
the committee reports.
Okay. Explain that, though. Community development, Mr. Harriman. Okay. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Bacon.
Nothing I'll discuss in executive session.
Okay. Police Committee, Mr. Harriman.
We had 1,228 calls for service, 82 security checks, 339 traffic stops, 172 citations, 91 warrants served, 52 community service people, 12 felony cases filed, 32 misdemeanors, 134 prohibitioners, 5 registered sex offenders. You have something else?
Yes, sir. I've got the bill for the red cord we get billed every year. I received it last 2004, it's $75. That's the dispatch. That's all I have.
I move that we pay it.
Second.
What was it now?
2475.
It's the dispatch, right?
All those in favor?
So,
Unanimous.
I've got a question. There's a contract in my door, and I signed it today for Devon's. Are these things for Devon, for the animal shelter down there, some uniforms? Or, yeah, I know. Have you got them already? Okay. Have you seen that contract? I think that's what it was. I could be wrong, but I think
It's for
that's.
the ones that's already got the water department.
So that's what that's about. I was
That's
thinking
what
it was
that
the
was
new
about.
stuff, so I could be wrong.
I notified Tara, and she needed to notify Willie Mack that he needed to call, you first, and get Devon's, stuff ordered, since he has heard.
Yeah, but that is the same company. I thought it was on the right page.
Yeah, that's right. It's an invoice, number.
Okay. Well, okay, did you put the contract in my door then?
I did. I
Okay,
did.
that's what I meant.
I put it in
Came from there, okay. Well, I signed it today, and they may want that done before you can do anything. Okay. Well, now that we got the contract signed, I think that might have had something to do with it. Let's see if, now that we got that signed, see if we can get that done, okay? Thank you. We appreciate y'all down there. And I want you to know that I have visited some other animal shelters, and I haven't dropped that ball. I want you to realize that. And I do want to see us upgrade, the drainage and that, and a couple. Yeah. We're gonna find a time that you and somebody else, I won't take just you, I want you to realize I won't take you with me just like you said. We're gonna take you and somebody, well, yeah, seriously, to go, and if the chief has got time, that would be a good one. To go look at a couple, especially BB, and then I wanna go up to Heber. You might have already seen these, but now we're getting closer to making some decisions on it. And BB is so close to our size, and running it by the city, and some of these other places are run by nonprofits, and whatnot. It's totally different operation. And but we're going to have to come up with some drains and being able to deal with it, and it's probably going to require to take out what we poured the other day. But that's okay. That's minor. That's minor. But I just want you to know that I hadn't forgot about that, and just as soon as possible, while it's cool, we'll do that, because when it starts to warm up and the ground starts to get a little firm, that we'll do that. So, yeah, to be able, well, you know what I mean. I'm talking about the concrete truck and that type of a deal. Yeah. So, but we're gonna go look at it. We'll have somebody draw it up, and not just a sketch, but a real drawing. Okay. And have professional concrete, finishers do it, because that's the only way to do it. I've seen that and learned that. Okay, and you were going to be able to speak under the planning commission too. Which I forgot. Would you go ahead and come up to the podium? I don't want to make you too nervous, but your voice and very, that's okay. That's what it's for. Do you mind? Come. Yeah, okay. I understand, but I do want everybody, I forgot to ask everybody at the first of the deal, and we'll be able to hear you better. But let me go ahead and make a preliminary of what it is. She lives behind the subway and Crowderville and the lot where the Texaco used to be, the open lot here. They've got a problem with water. David and I talked about this. Ray and I talked about this the other day. The runoff is going down in their backyard. They've got a little ditch that's been dug. We may have to look at doing something in the alleyway, right there to make that drain for you better. But that's what this is relating to on it.
Well, what's happened, we bought the house, and Daddy moved one house over. And so when it rains, my yard is a pool. I mean, literally a pool. So therefore, when they done that subway and that whatever that's next door, they angled the driveways or the parking places. And so that's caused the water to come down those rocks real fast. And so I sent you some videos of what was going on. That was just partial. And it was just like a light.
I've been watching it, and there's several of us that have been watching that situation, but we just don't know what to do. I wish that when we first were given approval on that we had, the answer would have been to raise that back up with gravel, and then all the water would have gone towards the front. But the problem is, since time began, right there, that's up on a hill. At the break point, it goes to the front. At the break point, it goes to the back. That's a natural drain right there.
Yeah, see, we're going to fill in the front.
Yeah.
And we're going to build up our property.
You're talking about your yard.
Yeah, on 122 Forbes. And then Daddy lives at 116 Forbes. And they have to open their gates, the wooden gates, because it was just pouring out. It filled up, and they just opened, and there looked like you could play in it. And so it is an issue, and I did watch them as they build it. I mean, I'm originally from Camden, but, I stay here more than lot more than I do in Camden. And so, like I said, we spent $35,000 underneath that house to bring it up because of all the mold and everything. And now the water's going back into it. Not a happy camper.
I understand.
And Daddy is the same way. And y'all all know my daddy. And, don't you?
Well, they did.
I wanted to be sure. Y'all
What
making
was
me
his
nervous.
first name?
Y'all just all staring at me.
Everybody just called him Mr. Tucker. What was his first name?
Sam.
Sam. Yeah.
Sam
When he was-
Tucker.
When he was at working at school, they called it Tucker.
Tucker's
Yeah.
Tucker's prison.
But he was he had a big heart, and he was gentle as a bear, but he did his job.
Yeah, but I appreciate if y'all would try to do something because when it rained the other day, my carport flooded. It's never flooded.
But you and I have been talking about this for several months, and I want you to realize
Yeah, I've been
I
trying
haven't-
to get you to
yeah.
do something.
Well, but it's not a magic wand thing, but I do want you to
know.
realize we are looking into
Your,
it.
your runoff is, you're saying the runoff is due to the asphalt? 'Cause they didn't change, best I can remember, they didn't change any elevations.
That asphalt at the end and the back, it tilts
So you're talking about the asphalt runoff.
and it
runoff
runs down
asphalt.
them
It's
rocks.
still got the same grade in it.
And because they put so many rocks in there, there's no dirt they can't absorb through that dirt, through those rocks very fast.
Well,
And we
actually, the
didn't
rock
have-
might work as a filter, but Bill is right, though. It's the same amount of water now as it was before. That was what I was trying to say,
It's got
If
the
that
same
hill-
grade.
Yeah,
They
but it's
didn't,
actually raised a
they
little bit.
just poured a monolithic slab. Didn't
Well, y'all
raise it.
y'all still need to put something through back there to drain
Well,
that water off.
But I can't tell you what we're gonna do, but we're looking into what we can do, I assure you that.
Yeah, because I'd hate to
Okay.
get my insurance on this because I don't like paying $35,000 again.
Understand?
That's too
What's your
much
house
money.
number?
122 Forbes.
What was your name?
Patricia K.
We remember if you as Tucker.
Like the three houses up from you, they got the same problem. But they did build that up back there.
They did.
Got the same problem on Walker.
I live on Forbes as well, and everything comes down that hill in my yard, so it's rough.
Yeah, and it's flat right there, and there is no good runoff. I looked at it yesterday evening when I put some stuff in the recycling trailer. I took time and looked behind Miss Ruth's house, and
Well, roof's always been flooded back there.
yeah, but see, it's got the same ditch it would behind Trish's, and it comes, through there pretty much, and then, but it goes, the roof's got a ditch, but it stops before it gets to the road. So that means it all comes down there, and then it's there. There is no runoff. But that's all, when you get to the bottom of something that's flat, you have to put some thought into it, and David and Larry and I did discuss this the other day, and we're gonna try to come up with something for you, and we appreciate you coming. We're gonna have to move on, but
Yeah,
we are working on that.
I know that 2-minute thing. That's what y'all
Well, it's
say.
3.
Oh, it's 3?
Yeah.
Well, I should have
But
took
anyway,
5.
but I didn't tell you that because this was important, but we appreciate you coming.
Okay, can I leave?
You can.
I'll move on.
All right, thank you.
You go to in-school suspension, Mr. Tucker.
There you go.
Yeah, be sure y'all send papers. Now, Daddy can't show up, but his wife can. And, because Daddy's bedridden.
We won't deal with it in the council. We'll deal with it, through the street department.
Oh, street department? Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We already got some ideas on work on that. Let's just go right into the street and alley. Mr. Harriman, you've got something I know that Larry wants to speak, but you don't have anything else.
No, that's all, please.
Okay.
No, but back on the alleyways, that's why it's really crucial. I've been trying to get in there for a year, clean them alleys out and put some kind of drain ditch in them. And we've got a big problem on Walker, apparently we do there too, so.
Yeah, but
You know,
there's
we gotta get in there and
issues.
get that dug, even in there behind Tammy's house. Another big
Well,
problem.
that's another one, working with Miss Whitehead, we're gonna get that ditch cleaned out, and have you started working down there yet? There's something that they're working on cleaning down there, and I didn't think that was you, somebody asked me today, okay, I didn't think it was, we hadn't started
That
yet.
area's been a problem ever since it was put in.
It's gonna always be a problem, it's always gonna be a problem, I looked at it there and I did it extensively the other day. There's no way for it not to be a problem. Because it's not open up to where you can just get a tractor or a dozer and just open it up where it can bloom out. It's got stuff in the way. It's got water lines or something in the way, doesn't it? Yeah, and the fences in the way, and trees.
Another issue, another thing I got on, up there on, Center and Hickory, we got a mess. We talk about going there, just putting culverts in the driveways, and I know you're involved, but I think Johnny and them thinks we need to go ahead and put the tiles all the way down. What was the reasoning behind y'all wanting to put tiles all the way down?
Well, it's always been that way.
Uh,
And it's one of the major intersections in town, relates to all the schools, the school traffic, mothers and the kids and whatever else. And I'd hate, for $5,000, I'd hate to have a serious accident there.
But because of open ditch.
Yeah.
But Hickory Street is a lot more open than that, than ever.
Yeah,
And
but
it's
they're
a lot
not
more.
turning.
Well, if people can't drive and keep between the ditches, they don't need to be on.
I mean,
But anyway, Larry's got some quotes.
Huh?
Come at the 5-way.
He's got some quotes on that, but I'm telling you, once we get that resolved, there's a big sewer problem there, that we have got to dig that road up or something. So, once we get them culverts, however how we do it, we've got to dig that road up and fix that, the manhole problems.
That one and some more.
There's two right there together, that's got to be done.
it's in the manhole.
Know it's in the manhole. One spilling up and running over, 100 foot away, nothing in it.
They're gonna try to camera that, right, Andy?
We're gonna plug it,
Yeah, they've got plans to work on it.
You got one on Cleveland that does the same thing.
Well, they're all
We can't
over,
even get the sewer head up in it.
they're all over the city.
Going to get some grants to help with the system, meeting with Engineer Marlon.
But Larry's got some quotes on that, so I'll just let him.
Well, y'all got one quote there from Windwater. That's for the pipe. Personally, I think it needs at least one, if not two T's put in it. So when it clogs up, you've got some place to be able to go in there and try to clean it out. As it is now, you've got 225 foot of pipe, no clean.
And a lot of water coming down through
A
there.
lot of water.
All water tank
And a lot
hill
of
comes down
trash.
through there.
It gets, like David said, it gets a lot of trash in there. It gets hung up in there. We got no way to try to.
And if we're gonna cover it, we have to have the teams. So there's no two ways about it. So I want everybody to realize that.
If we just wanna go with just putting the pipe back in there, I can get the pipe for about $12.50 a foot. I had two quotes on it. One, they printed it out for me. My other quote, I got it in a text message on my cell phone.
Yeah, but we're just talking about $656. You count your time and labor and your employees, that's one or 2 days. There's no question we need them. We have to have them. So I want everybody to realize that we have to do that. So it's money well spent right there. We don't want to have to dig that up again.
No, we don't have to.
No, and that road is already narrow like you're talking about anyway, and that was my concern about it, but I was willing, we talked about it, discussed it, I was willing to leave it open for a while and try it, and then if it didn't work out, then we could put the culverts in there, but I'm all about going into it if everybody feels like it.
But if you leave it open, the mailman can't get to the mailboxes up through there.
Yeah, well, there was things we don't realize that you did.
Right.
Yeah, and so I'm fine with it. I want you to understand that because this was my original, vote to cover it, but I was open, to leaving it open for a while and trying it, but that's another reason that we shouldn't. Plus, that's a busy road right there.
You got it.
And
Especially every morning
and it would
you're
be
in
an
school.
eyesore. We need to make it look as nice as we can because that's the main route to the school for everybody, so.
Well, and two, if you don't maintain that ditch, it's gonna be a problem.
It could wash that
Because
road out too.
Do what?
It could wash that road.
Yeah, but you know, if we don't mow the ditches, they grow up and then the water doesn't flow.
You can't mow ditches that are dug as deep as that's gonna need to be done.
I make the motion that we accept the proposal for wind water for
Hold on, before
4,300.
you do that. We're gonna have to have some more of this. I mean, it's gonna require lots of gravel. The way that's gotta be put in there.
This is from them.
Okay, but I'm just saying, for the total thing, we're
The
gonna
project, the total project's gonna cost more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
but it
ahead.
is,
This right here
yeah,
is just strictly. for-
but it is what it is, and I do wanna see gravel on it.
go ahead.
I move we accept the proposal from Windwater, the amount of $4,385.60 for materials.
And I'll second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
When I was there today, that,
Put away some.
Come out street.
No, I mean,
Come out street.
the water can come up, go in. Yeah, that's what's-
But that's another area that Andy mentioned, that we are gonna have to give that some immediate attention about the sewer too. There's an issue down there. That's one of the places in the city we've got an issue. Is there anything else in the street that you need to discuss?
That's all I have right now.
And another thing, since I brought it up about that ditch, just as soon as we possibly can get down there to get, that ditch opened up. You know, we've been down there to look at it, but. Okay, and I think they've been down there cleaning it up, and that'll make it easier for you to get down there, that type of deal. I don't want to get into other people's backyards
Well,
and
I
mess
think
it up.
Athens been down there trimming trees, and they just filed it on. That's what I've been told.
They have,
send an officer down there to find
yeah,
out.
they have to remove their criminals. There's no question about that.
They're not too big a hurry right now. They're doing a lot of tree dropping.
Yeah,
Going
and that one's not anybody's way too, and I've already had some other people complaining about, you know, where they've done some trimming that didn't get up, so, but they'll get to it.
But they are taking a lot of trees out of town.
They're taking a lot of trees out.
Free.
I think it's great. Let's see, so no more street. Airport committee, Mr. Rutherford, update.
Okay, I finally got everything from McClellan, and to redo the runway on the airport, it's $84,997.
For our part.
Huh?
For our part.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, that's the total, 84,000.
Our part though.
Our part is $8,499.70.
10%.
Mm-hmm.
I so move.
I'll second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous.
That's all.
Does Tammy have a copy of the bid or the quote?
Did you
I
go
don't
to
have any,
shoot?
I don't have any of it.
Okay.
It's just a proposal, isn't it, the quote?
What's the company name?
Well, I don't know the company name.
Engineering firm.
It's
McClellan.
the
I got
engineering
that part.
firm will go from there.
Yeah,
Because he just was telling me that he's got this all done, and for me to have you sign those and get them back, and then he will put it out for the bids.
Okay, that's what I was thinking right there.
No.
Okay, gotcha. I'm excited to see this done. I want to see that airport upgrade. Okay, approved on that. And nothing else from the airport, right?
Nothing.
Village and grounds.
At our last meeting, we had talked about the door out here for the police department. I was going back through the minutes and looked at what we had talked about, what we had approved, and then we tabled, because Mr. Hodges had asked about the gauge on the steel. Mr. Mowers gave us an update on this, that it would be a 20 gauge steel, and they would be replacing the tracks and everything, and then it would be a full cost of $3,300.
25.
Yeah, well, it's the 33 would be to go from 25 gauge to down 20 gauge.
Yeah.
I talked to the guy that's the guru, and since it's going to be used probably a lot, that one's been there for years, it's pretty handy, and he said, you can't overkill it, he didn't think, but he said, this is what he recommended.
25 gauge.
No, the 20 gauge, the $3,300.
What's
So the smaller the number, the heavier the metal,
Correct.
right? So 20 gauge instead of 25.
Correct.
Okay.
That has the glass in it, deep glass.
This is supposed to be comparable to what we have.
So
I move we accept the proposal from overhead doors or garage door service on the overhead door in the police building.
Who seconded it? David did. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Anything else on buildings grounds?
I got something.
Yes, did you hear anything?
I got something. We had a, go ahead.
I have not. Have they contacted you back?
Not
Mayor?
since they went and put the anchor bolts down. They did put the anchor bolts in. I don't know if everybody's seen that or not. So now, they did call me last week. Okay, so that's what we're getting straight
What's
here.
the holdup?
I'm gonna call it a back order situation, but it's something that, I'm gonna call it that, but that's what it is. And they've got several, jobs waiting because they just hadn't got the materials, ready to do. It's nothing on our builders part, it's materials. So, and they're chomping at the bit to get it done.
We give them a time limit.
Well, I want it done by the end of the year, but that's why they called me and said, and they knew that, but they basically have already started because they've got the anchor bolts down. I went and looked at them day before yesterday. And,
They've been down a month.
yeah,
they've been
right.
there
Oh,
for
yeah.
good
Oh,
for
yeah.
them.
But, that's where it's
What are they
at.
looking at time to make it?
They're still, they told
I
me
mean,
they couldn't.
if they get it tomorrow, what are they
Well,
looking at?
they can get it done in 30 days. I mean, that's what our understanding is, once they get the
Done in 5
material.
days.
Yeah, sure.
Once they start, they'll be done.
Well, they're trying to say, not, how do you say, under promise and over deliver, that's what they're trying to do. But they want everybody to realize that it's not them dragging their feet. Because they know we want to get that done.
The only other thing I got on that is over at the community center, they had a water leak run down in the cabinets. Well, apparently, somebody's been on that building, they put a vent hood or something there. So that voided the warranty for that building. They went ahead and fixed the leak. But if you have one in the future, you need to call those people to put that vent hood in, because that baby's on them now. Anytime you get up there and alter that, it don't fall back on that contractor. It falls back on the next one.
Did they put it in correctly, that benefit? I'm sure
They
they,
leaked.
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I didn't go up there and look. That's what the contractor called me and told me. I went over and verified that they did put it in a hood, and he said he went ahead and siliconed it, but that he relinquished himself from that his warranty on it.
So basically, he did that free gratis.
He did that because it was there. Yes.
And I appreciate that, tell him that. Okay. Nothing else on the building grounds, Vince?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, now I want to update, don't see any of our East kids here tonight, right? The East project that we gave permission to look at doing an art alley. The downtown courtyard committee had called me and said that they had been getting grants to fix the rock and roll local museum up and weren't finished with the upper level. And they wanted to apply and get maybe another grant, to keep working on that. We're going to try to have another committee reappointed next month, and try to get apply for grants to get that upper level open. And they're afraid it might affect the grant process if we did murals on it right now. And they understood that. And now, while they were there, we did take a walking tour this last weekend, and I called Shannon Odom, and he's going to allow them to use his building. The back of it, towards the alley, and even the inside of it, if they get enough response, they have permission to use, the inside of his building. I thought that was real nice. And he said, now, if I do sell it or decide to do something with it, I will discontinue it. But they know that because they're going to rotate every 30 or 90 days, they're going to rotate the art. So it's nothing that's meant to be permanent.
Let me,
Okay.
the upstairs is done. The only thing, we need a stair lift to make it where we can get up.
ADA.
It is finished.
Okay. Well, it's a chair lift that we're waiting on.
Yes.
But that requires another grant, though, right? Good, I'm glad you clarified that. We're all looking forward to that. Okay, nothing more, Mill and Grounds. Personnel Committee, Mr. Hodges.
Nothing tonight.
Water and Sewer, Mr. Hodges.
I'll let Andy have the floor.
Don't have anything. I will be meeting with the city's engineer, Adam Chris, tomorrow. There's several projects that I'm going to discuss with him that, possible grant for the rehabilitation of the manhole situation we have here. A lot of the other ones are free, so I get a lot of information on those. It's not a guarantee we'll be put in for one. I'll keep members over my department informed on that. I'll find out tomorrow. Two more projects I really don't know a whole lot about right now, but we're looking into. I'll let y'all know what I find out tomorrow.
Andy, you just said something, and I'd like to be on your tour with Andy, Pat tomorrow after Trish.
I'll be going to do it.
Okay. But you just said something that brought something to mind. When it rains, that just the drainage itself, I didn't think about that because of those because they're sewer, you would think it's a closed system, but it's not. We know that.
The old brick, most of them here in town are brick.
They're deteriorated.
Different processes that we can go with to fix that. Go in and spray them, seal them.
Seal them, whatever. But you just made me realize that in my old house that I live in, it's got a basement. And when it rains, the groundwater comes in, I've got a sump pump in it. And that just made me realize that Ball Knob gets its name from being built on a rock shelf. And those rock shelves, when that water hits that rock shelf, what does it do? It goes to where it can find a place. That can be a big part of what our infiltration is.
That's a big problem we have, but we also got a lot of remains that are going to be replaced. But we're going to start what we're doing with the grant. We're going to try to keep up with the cash.
We're going to see what we need done and then apply for it.
We got to try to keep up. So hopefully that we can put in for a grant, we get a grant, we can get started, help out that.
Right. And looking forward to smoking that system. You bet. Thank you very much. Old business, ordinance, 21909. Second reading, which is our budget. Third. Well, I wondered about that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to read it for the third time and approve it next month, right?
Not now.
We're going to approve it tonight? Okay.
Ordinance number O-19-09, being enacted by the City Council of the City of Balna, White County, Arkansas, an ordinance to adopt the proposed operating 2020 budget. Section 1, the proposed 2020 budget for the City of Balna, White County, Arkansas, as presented November 5th, 2019, is hereby adopted. Section 2, adoption of this budget will constitute appropriation for the purposes cited. Section 3, no expenditures of appropriated funds shall be made from any fund other than specified in the attached copy of the proposed budget unless amended. Section 4, this ordinance shall be in force and effect from and after the date of its passage. It's passed and adopted the 6th day of January 2020.
I move we accept the third and final reading of ordinance number 0-2019-09 is read.
Second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Did you see Bill's?
I haven't seen him, but is Bill Sample in the house? Have not seen him. I'm gonna go ahead and address this. Chuck, I tried to call you today and ask this, and I went to the municipal league and I didn't call you back. In the morning, I want us to get in touch with the whites that own the junk pile down there that they burned. They've had plenty of time to clean that up. Have we given them any warnings since then? Okay. And we hadn't received any notification back, no communication to my knowledge. And I was going to call him today, and I didn't have the correct number, with it. So, I'm gonna get the contact information, I wanna call them, I have a good rapport with them, I just wanna see if we can get that done, okay? And that's what, Mr. Sample was gonna meet with us tonight about, he's tired of looking, and he has every right to be tired of seeing that it should have already been cleaned up in 30 days.
And Harold Osmond's got one just like that.
Yeah, and there was a remedy to that, we need to we're gonna check on the Osmond property.
Shannon said they got all of the paperwork now straightened out.
Well, that was what the remedy was.
Owns the property.
Okay, we'll find on that, and if Shannon owns it, we're gonna give him a 30-day notice, okay? And then the White property, contact him. I will. Okay. Is there anything else that would pertain to that? We've already basically gone through anything that you would have had, so we just move right along. Garage door at the police department, we've already dealt with that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. New business, R 2020-01, that is, you read that for us, Tammy, that's in support of the highway tax that the government is requesting we support.
A resolution by the City of Ball Knob, Arkansas, supporting the House Joint Resolution 1018 of 2019, proposing an amendment to the Arkansas Constitution to continue a levy of a 0.5% sales and use tax for state highways and bridges, county roads, bridges, and other surface transportation, and city streets, bridges, and other surface transportation after the retirement of the bonds authorized in Arkansas Constitution Amendment 91 as special revenue to be distributed under the Arkansas Highway Revenue Distribution Law. Whereas Arkansas Constitution Amendment 91 levies a 0.5% sales and use tax to provide additional funding for the state's 4-lane highway system, county roads, and city streets. And whereas the 0.5% sales and use tax under Arkansas Constitution Amendment 91 is due to expire on June 30th, 2023, unless a new constitutional amendment is passed. And whereas House Joint Resolution 1018 proposes that the sales and use tax levy under Arkansas Constitution Amendment 91 be continued to provide special revenue for use of maintaining, repairing, and improving the state's system of highways, county roads, and city streets. Whereas without continuation of this sales and use tax, the state will be unable to meet the severe and pressing needs to maintain and improve the state system of state highways, county roads, and city streets. And whereas the continuation of the 0.5% sales and use tax will ensure future investment in the state highway system, county roads, and city streets. And whereas this investment will create jobs, aid in economic development, improve quality of life, and provide additional transportation infrastructure, including specifically a 4-lane highway construction plan designed to connect all regions of the state. Whereas it is beneficial for all municipalities to support House Joint Resolution 1018 as a necessary funding mechanism for our travel infrastructure and will serve as an economic boom for the state. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Ball Knob, Arkansas, Section 1, that we do hereby support the legal proposals found in House Joint Resolution 1018 of 2019, as well as in adoption by the people of the state of Arkansas at the next general election, passed and approved this 6th day of January 2020.
Yes.
I move we accept resolution. You need something?
No, just roll out.
That we approve resolution number R-2020-01.
I have a motion by Johnny, second by Dennis, to accept the resolution that's read. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Everybody will get to vote on this, at the polls in November, so. Resolution 2020-02, that was the one we just read earlier, right?
Yes,
Let's take
we
care of
already
that.
done that.
Okay. report on the census, Mr. James Blackston. Thank you for making it.
No, absolutely. Do me a huge favor and take one down and pass it around. So my name is James Blackston. I'm a partnership specialist with the U.S. Census Bureau. I work in Baxter, Fulton, Izzard, Independence, and I just got White County added on. So it's my first time here, so it's a pleasure to be here in front of y'all. So every census in the past, the only way to fill it out was by traditional mail. So you would fill it out in the mail, you'd send it back in. If you didn't, you would get enumerated. You'd hear that unfortunate knock on the door. But what you have in front of you today, and I can get you as many copies as you need, is a template that will go out to every household in mid-March that will encourage people to self-respond to the census, whether it's via traditional mail or this time there is an online component and a telephone component. So in 2010, like 69% of Arkansans self-responded on their own. We're hoping with the telephone and the internet, or not, yeah, telephone and computer, that number goes up. So it's less enumeration that has to take place because people don't like somebody knocking on their door saying they're with the federal government. So you can see on that, it says, Dear Resident. The web address is not on there yet because we don't want people going to the website now trying to do it before the system is fully operational. Each household will have its unique ID as well that they'll type in. If that is lost, there is a mechanism in place to find that, because I know sometimes people get mail, they'll just throw it off to the side. But the biggest thing moving forward is, how do we properly educate and engage the people to self-respond? That's the easiest thing, because it benefits Bald Knob. This is not left, right, anything. This count benefits the community, the county, the state, and for that matter, the federal government. So a couple quick tidbits. So $675 billion will be allocated every year for the next 10 years based on this census information. Governor Hutchinson, and I can send you all the video, I've got my business cards as well. If Arkansas undercounts by 1%, it can cost Arkansas almost a little over $900 million over the next 10 years. And you all understand how you obtain money from Little Rock, the federal government, not me. I never see how that money is allocated. So it comes back to the importance of the census. For me, here until April 1st, which is Census Day. Why we're doing it on April Fool's Day, I have no idea, but that is essentially Census Day. People will have till late May, early June to self-respond on their own. If they don't self-respond, that's when the enumerators will go out. So we're currently still hiring people to do enumeration. In White County, those jobs are $17 an hour and 58 cents a mile. So it's a minimum 30 days, maximum 90-day job, depending on the quickness of the enumeration. But for anybody looking for part-time employment, you can make a couple $1,000s in a couple months. You can store that aside for a vacation, anything that you want to do. But anything you need me for between now, well, we have until December 31st to give the information to the president. So we have to get it done before the last day of the year, but we'll be done way before that. But anything you all need moving forward, promotional items, anything, I can get my hands on them, any civic events, public events, anything that we can do to engage the public to self-respond. For me, school districts is something that we're tackling the next 2 months. We have like coloring sheets, stuff for civics classes, college kids that are transitioning from high school to college. They can work part-time in the summer, can kind of pad their college resume with, hey, I worked for the U.S. Census in 2020. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to do under behind the scenes to make this a success. So anything you all ever need, I'll give you my business card when the meeting's over. Call me. I live in Jonesboro, but it's with 226. It doesn't take very long at all to get here. We appreciate you coming. Anything that we can do to help promote this, it's advantageous.
Well, my cell phone's over there in the chair, but we live in an age of technology. So social media a lot of times gets the word out. You'll see the national campaign is slowly and surely running out. So as you start to watch Little Rock News, Memphis News, Jonesboro News, you'll start to see ads on nightly news, different shows. You'll see ads in newspapers, on radio. So the Bureau is starting to, so it's almost like a political campaign. The campaigns don't really get going until after the party's convention. So we kind of take the new year as the beginning of the conventions are over. It's time to hit the ground running. So anything you all need, because if you undercount, you can go back and correct it, but a special census costs the city money.
Does the online form ask the responder if they're citizens?
So that question is not on this census.
I thought it was going to be.
No.
I can clarify, but the last talking points we got,
It was a debate though, right?
yeah, there was a debate. So every census until now, that has been the first question on the census. But it's, so the short form's 10 questions, so you can always tell people, look, take 10 minutes out of your time, fill it out, it benefits the community. But is there a possibility it could change between now and then? Possibly, but if it does, I will reach out to Mr. Grayson, reach out to anybody, and I can definitely get you.
I think that was a big part of why our numbers dropped, Bill, was because of that question, because we had a lot of Hispanic labor.
Some
Yeah.
people are not going to respond.
So, but to piggyback, and this will be my last thing. So I'm working with the Hispanic Center in Searcy. I'm working with Mr. Olivia, who works for First Community. I can't remember the tall bank in Batesville there at the corner of Harrison. His main job is Hispanic outreach, and he says that the numbers here, nobody can truly evaluate what that number is. So I'm working with him and other people in the Hispanic community to let them know you live here just as much as everybody else, regardless of whatever, your kids go to school. When you go to Walmart, you're paying city, county taxes, federal taxes, different issue, but we need to let people know that they live here, they're a part of the community, and they need to be counted.
Well, our Hispanic numbers were up, before 10 years ago, and then they were afraid to respond, I think, last time. I don't think they beat the bushes as much as they did the last time.
So there's a young individual at Lyon College who wants to do a lot of outreach with me. So I haven't had a meeting with him yet. Mr. Olivia gave me his information, so I'm going to tackle that.
And over the next 10 years, you're going to see Hispanic labor is coming back to this area, back to White County. There's going to be a lot more agricultural jobs.
So any houses, anything built before April 1st, if they move into it, it's good to go. This is kind of terrible to say this, but the babies need to be born on March 31st as well. So I'm not saying induced labor. It's kind of a joke, kind of in my.
Water Department communication, that's something that goes out to every household.
Yeah, so a lot of cities, they'll put stuff on the bottom of the water bill. Hey, remember to self-respond. And moving forward, if you could allocate one computer, or any civic organization, senior luncheons, Kiwanis Club, Lions Club, anybody that wants to get active and get into it, I'll definitely reach out to them. We'll do whatever we can.
Well, that's something that I want to see. We'll visit this later. But
No, absolutely.
But I want to see the council approve expenditure to put out a postcard to everybody that the water department, bills go to. We only have a little postcard, so we can't piggyback anything on.
Well, I mean, but just like, you don't have a line to put like a little footnote on the bottom of the water bill at all?
Have it printed or something,
Yeah.
stamped or something, but that's the way to communicate with everybody.
There is, the governor has set up a statewide complete count committee as well. So I can look and see what the committee, like if they can provide, I can't say they can, but it wouldn't hurt to ask.
You're the third person that's
Yeah.
had that job here. I'm honored to do that.
Yeah, they keep moving.
Yeah,
So.
but I appreciate you coming.
No, absolutely.
When you're in the area, we'll visit some more.
I got you. No, absolutely. So like I said, anything you ever need, I'm willing to help you out any way we can.
We need to push this census stuff.
Yes, sir.
What about the financial questions? Are they still there?
So I haven't seen the 10 questions that will be on the short form, but as soon as I get a copy of the 10 questions, I'll send it to the mayor. And
That's
they
where
can
a
forward.
majority of ours went.
Yeah.
In a trash can by the door.
Yeah.
At the post office.
Yeah.
They got it out of the box, took 3 steps, and they said, so-and-so said they want to know how much you got savings and whatever else. They said,
Well, the Constitution mandates that you complete the census. We need to reach out to let them know that it's going to benefit the community. And then the Census Bureau takes information
yes.
securely. We don't give it out to other government organizations. The only time information is ever released is every 70 years, and that's for genealogists or people that want to study their family tree. So 1950 information is about to be released. So personal information, information is not going to be released for another 70 years. And that would put me at 110 because I just turned 40. So.
When are you going to meet with our school up here?
So I started sending emails out yesterday. When I go tomorrow, I'm doing an event again at the Salem Library. I'm sending out more emails. So I'm trying to get that as quick as possible.
I want to meet with you.
No, so like 1st of March is when we kind of want to roll that campaign out. So we've got a little bit of time, but.
Appreciate you.
No, you're welcome.
All right. Now, let's get these bills approved.
I move we pay the street fund payables in the amount of $8,306.36.
Second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous. We can't do general fund because I don't have that sheet.
Yeah.
I
Tammy's
thought we were-
missing the sheet.
I thought we were gonna do that during executive session. I was gonna do that.
Okay, we'll do water and sewer and then we'll pick it up later. I move we pay the water and sewer payables in the amount of $112,000. I think I lost a comma or something.
$626.50. One,
Yeah, okay. $112,626.50.
Second. You can get,
All those, it's unanimous.
while we're in executive session, we're gonna, take a break. We're gonna go into executive session and, do the information.
Just in case y'all wonder, my son has picked the college.
I got it.
What?
Picked the college.
Is he gonna start on the mainstream?
Yeah, he's gonna. No, that boy, I didn't.
Hi, guys.
They started keeping new stats for the basketball team. He told me he said you how many picks and fouls.
Be able to call the, meeting back to order, please. We discussed two things about, personnel. We decided not to, make a decision on extending Mr. Mauer's, contract until June. I've asked it to be the June. We're going to make our decision to keep, till March or June. We'll make that decision by the next meeting. So we're not going to take a vote on that. We'll discuss. And then the other thing was, the planning commission. David, we're going to table the item about appointing you because if you run for city council, they're telling me that, I'm going to check this out, that you cannot hold both seats, be on the planning commission and be a city council. So we're going to get, we're going to read the regulations and find out if that's correct or not. So is there anything else that I've left off? I think that covers.
We need to approve the general fund.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah, thank you.
I move we pay the general fund payables in the amount of $43,341.53.
Second.
All those in favor? Mayor, I have one item. It's on our property insurance. Everybody, I'm sure some know that we no longer will have, a permit. So we have a choice to quickly go with municipal property. It's not as good as what we've had in the past. The deductible, let me see here. The deductible is $22,296.98. That's not the deductible. That's the total for a $7,500 deductible. A $5,000 deductible is $27,729.83.
Except for a year.
Yes.
And what we discussed was, getting this for a month, but will they let us pay it on a monthly prorated basis
No, you pay up front.
for a whole year?
That's the way we've always done it.
Well, see, I'm not aware of it, so.
Yeah.
So are you recommending, that I was thinking you were going to recommend that we did it for a month and look for other insurance, so you're saying we would do it for
Now this is property only?
Property and liability,
Okay.
vehicles. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not vehicles.
Not
but, yeah,
vehicles.
Property and vehicles. But even, it talks about here that they don't cover, like the incident we had at the water, they will not cover that. That's not part of their, but the other insurance did. They don't cover
you mean the theft?
hail, they don't cover theft.
Why would you want to go with them?
Well, because we have until the end of the month to have insurance.
So can we,
So can I make interject something? I did not realize we had to sign up for a whole year. I was thinking we would do it for a month. Bill, will you help us? You're the insurance man. Will you kind of help us look?
Yeah, I'll
into
get with you. See
Well, I have a
what's,
schedule of all the properties and the buildings and the, I think all the square feet, and all that.
Which means we will have to call a special meeting to vote on this. I want everybody to realize this because we have to have it done. What's the deadline? The 31st of January, right?
But we're not gonna vote on it tonight then?
Well, I would like to see you, Bill, and myself get together and look at what these other cities are doing, because they've been calling me and asking us what we're gonna do, and I just automatically told them we're gonna go with the municipal league insurance program.
But I don't think this is our best option. It's a quick fix for now.
Really, I don't want it to be our
Band-Aid.
only, yeah, but I don't want it to be our only, but I want to do some calling and find out what other people have found out, and if we can make a better decision, in time to, before that 31st, we'll have a special meeting and vote what to do.
So,
Now-
I'm sorry, Bill.
this is a non-renewal, not a cancellation, right?
Right.
Your term is
Yes,
up, right?
they terminated cities, period. Now, they're gonna go ahead and carry counties, but they're not gonna carry cities,
So they're all cities.
all cities. Because I called her today and I said, hey, Kathy, will you reconsider? I said, I'm nearly begging. I said, will you take us back? Because this is not anywhere as good as what they have. And she said, no.
Yeah,
I just
it's not as good and it costs.
Have you been on the phone with any other cities?
No.
I have, but they're all calling me, wanting to know what we're gonna do, and I just automatically told them we're gonna go with municipal league, because I thought that was the only option that we had, but it's not. So we're gonna find out what others are doing and let y'all evaluate it, and we'll have a special meeting to vote on what to do. Okay, that's all. I think that's really in our best interest.
I think when you come up with a plan B, ask them, if it goes into effect February the 1st, when do they have to know? When do we have to submit? And if it's a week, 2 weeks, whatever, then we'll have to push our button.
Are we gonna advertise in the paper?
I don't know that would be an asset, because there's so many gray areas in insurance.
Well, Bill
We
may
spend a
know-
month writing those specs.
Yeah, but Bill may know who to contact to start with. I mean, that's just it, if we don't. And first, I'll call the mayor of Searcy tomorrow, because he's president of the department right now. And so they're getting, shafted too. So we'll find, these other, in Woodard County, I've had them call, I've had, a couple people in my county call. We'll find out if they have found other means, because they're just decided to try to find somebody else too. They're really concerned,
Well, $7,500 is quite a stretch from $1,000 deductible, which is what we've had.
So you're gonna take the lead?
I'll get with Tammy and okay, we'll need to see what you had. Okay. How it's divided up, and then.
And I'll call some of the cities and we'll discuss what we'll find out there.
So Gary remains on the planning commission.
Yes.
Until you figure out what's.
Move with adjourn.
Y'all got one more thing. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to speak about anything that's on the agenda tonight? Seeing none? Make the motion.
I second it.
I voted both on this. Wait a minute.
I missed my break this morning.